Do you have a favorite video that you've done so far?
Oh man, that's so tough. There's the super slow-mo one I did called Find Focus, and that's like shot for shot recreation of the boxing scene from Guy Ritchie's Sherlock Holmes movie, you know? So it's like I hadn't seen anyone do that in a sports film.
The cut here is very interesting. The double.
Yeah, yeah.
What was that inspired by anything? And like, why did you use that?
I think I was kind of trying to use like the bike sounds almost like as part of the score or like as punctuation. Like I wanted like a kind of like a like double.
A double, yeah.
I don't know. I
A
think,
double hawk
like,
tool, yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like I think the sound, yeah, totally. Yeah, I just wanted it to like sound interesting between the music, basically.
That's such a great, yeah. To sound interesting between the music is an amazing way to put it. There's something on your site, like a quote. Scott carried a full-size expanding 18-foot ladder deep into the woods, just in case there was a camera angle that was hard to get. It was the sun up to sundown shoot day. It was awkward to carry. The ladder only got used once for what ended up being the best shot of our entire edit. What is it that drives you to do that?
I think just because I want stuff to be as good as possible for me, you know? You see so much insane work every day from other people. So I think like this is pretty common in the film world. I think people are really passionate about it and they're willing to put in the hard work to make it just that little bit more special and hopefully stand out.
Welcome back to the Beyond the Cut podcast. Today we're here with Scott Secco, who is a filmmaker doing some crazy amazing things with different brands, shooting some stuff for himself and his crew. I got to pick his brain out throughout this whole episode and really into the video breakdowns, which is some of the cooler breakdowns we've done on here, just because there's a lot more, there's a bigger crew, there's a lot more that goes into it. So if you guys are into that stuff, you know, like, subscribe, share this with anyone you think would enjoy it. I got in contact with Scott because I covered one of his videos on my Instagram, which I don't know if it's the most viewed video on my Instagram account. It's at like 500,000, almost. Crazy. And it's cool that I can share this with other people. That's the whole point of the podcast, to be able to connect you guys with some of these amazing filmmakers and creators. So thank you guys. You do a lot of outdoor filmmaking. What is it about the outdoors that makes it so interesting for you to shoot?
It's just like my passion for mountain biking more than anything, I think. I got super into mountain biking when I was a young lad, probably like 12, 13. My buddies and I got super into it. And then I was never as brave as they were. So then I naturally gravitated towards the camera, and I really like movies. So I was like, oh, this is cool. Like I can film my buddies and avoid detonating myself on a jump and breaking bones or whatever. So that kind of worked out well. It's just a great way to share like the beauty of the outdoors and the beauty of the sports. So that just kind of happened naturally, I guess, because it's my interests gravitated that way.
What's like the biggest hurdles when you're shooting outdoors?
Well, I mean, the number one thing is weather, because it's not like on a set where you can control lighting or whatever. And some days you just don't get good conditions. It's sunny and it looks terrible in the woods. But then other days you're left with like incredible fog or an epic sunset or whatever. So that kind of makes it interesting, because you're always dealing with weather and you just don't have the control that you do in a studio environment.
So when you guys plan shoot days, right? Is that taken into account where you're like, okay, you know, this would take maybe around 3 days, but let's push it to like 6 days in case stuff happens? Because you know the weather's always up and down, and you're like, fuck, we don't know what's gonna happen.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, it depends on the project. Like sometimes the client just needs something yesterday and you just don't have the time to get to do that. But I mean, like if it's a bigger project and I have a little bit more control, then yeah, like we'll plan for like a lot of days. Like some of these 2-minute videos we'll shoot for like a week, you know, which in the commercial world would be insane. You'd never spend that long on it. But for this stuff, you can have a small crew and you can be nimble and you can kind of wait for weather, which is nice.
As I was doing my research and watching a lot of your videos, I'm going like way back. So like the one with Sam Pilgrim, when you guys did that back, it's like 6 years ago, I think that came out. And then
Oh yeah.
the lighting conditions, the wind, it rained one night when you guys got back out there, and you're like, fuck, what are we doing? Like, that seems so insane to me. Are you just used to it now? Are you just like, okay, anything can happen?
Yeah. For sure. I mean, I've been filming biking for almost 17 years, so it's been been at it a long time, right? I mean, not professionally for that long, but yeah, you just get used to it. That's just part of the game.
For people that want to get into what you're doing, you have any advice after doing it for so long?
Film is interesting because it seems like it changes so often. Like how I got into it was through this website called pinkbike.com, which is still around. It's still the biggest mountain bike site. But at the time they had video of the day, which was like the mountain bike equivalent of a Vimeo staff pick, where it was like this illustrious thing, and you're like, oh my god, I got video of the day. And so that was like really great as a platform to showcase my work and to try and make a career out of it. But nowadays, like, you have so many sources that we didn't have when I was 15, you know, like there's TikTok or Instagram or YouTube. Like, there's so many ways to make it as a filmmaker, and there's not really any set path. Like, I didn't go to film school, but you could do that. You could become a YouTuber, you could like do commercials. There's just so many ways to do it. So I mean, I think the main thing is to be really enthusiastic and passionate about it, and then make as much stuff as you can, meet as many people as you can, because it's all about like making connections and slowly building a name and reputation for yourself. But there's no right or wrong way to do it. You kind of just got to get out there and do your best, you know?
There's something on your site, like a quote. Scott carried a full-size expanding 18-foot ladder deep into the woods, just in case there was a camera angle that was hard to get. It was the sun up to sundown shoot day. It was awkward to carry. The ladder only got used once for what ended up being the best shot of our entire edit. What is it that drives you to do that?
I think just because I want stuff to be as good as possible for me, you know? You see so much insane work every day from other people. So I think like this is pretty common in the film world. I think people are really passionate about it, and they're willing to put in the hard work to make it just that little bit more special and hopefully stand out.
Okay, so you direct, you know, cinematography. I've seen a lot where you're the editor as well. You wear a lot of different hats. Is there anyone that you gravitate towards or that you enjoy more than the other?
Oh yeah. I mean, at this budget level, you kind of have to wear every hat, you know? Plus, like, I am like a slight control freak, or like I have specific taste, we'll say. Hopefully I'm reasonable to work with and not like a complete maniac, but I'm definitely most passionate about directing. So like, I do love shooting, and I have like a strong sense of what I like. But I'm definitely interested in directing. So like, that's the goal for sure.
What is it about directing that you love?
Well, I like that you get to have input on everything, you know? Like, it's funny because I'm like pretty indecisive with everyday life, and it like frustrates my girlfriend to no end. When we're like on set, then I definitely know what I don't like, and so that helps to inform what I do like, because I can just tell I'm like, okay, that's not it, and then hopefully we can try and make it so it is what we're looking for, you know? But yeah, I like it just because you can like have a say on every aspect of the film and make it your vision.
That's the best about it, like the overall vision and just trying to bring it to life. And it's the most challenging. Do you find that it's the most challenging?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's the most interesting, because you're like doing everything. Like, I like doing everything, and I like being able to hire people who are better than I am at stuff, right? So it's like you kind of bring it together. That's just what's fun.
And do you feel like because it is a lot of these biking videos, that because that there's this boundary, you have to like be a little extra creative?
As I said, I've been doing it for so long. Like, I got my first camera when I was 16. And so it's like, you have to make it interesting for yourself, you know? It's like, it's not that fun to keep making the same video all the time. So It's
Absolutely.
like, how can I make it interesting for me with like new techniques, or like just, I don't know, different color grading or different sound design or whatever, you know, trying to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, because like I was watching a couple of your videos and just certain match cuts too. There's one with a firefighter as well. It was like the top of the fire hydrant, you know, and it cuts to the pedals or the gears. I was like, cool. And then your Bhutan video, that one was so interesting because there was like one where the three bikers were going along this trail, and then it cut to like a drone shot of like the water, and I was like, these are so interesting. Specifically for that shot, how do you come up with a match cut in the Bhutan video? Where are you flying a drone and you're like, oh shit, like this looks like the trail, and then you go back and you shoot it, or how is that? Are you scouting the location first?
So it depends on the project. That match cut was a complete ripoff from Sherpa Cinema. So there are these ski movie filmmakers, and they had a cut in into the mine that was, it was like a groomed run on Whistler, and I think it cut to a river. Some of the other cuts, like, it is interesting. Like, that one I definitely planned out because I shot the one of them riding, and I was like, oh, that's sick. I can match that with a river.
Yeah.
So then like the rest of the trip, we just looked around to see where the river was and just tried to find a section that looked like it matched. But like some of the other ones, you just kind of like find the connection in the edit. Like it's not that planned out. And the international ones, like the Bhutan one and the India one, are really cool, but those are
Yeah.
so challenging because there's no time to scout. Like you're going to a new location each day. So you're like, is it worth stopping here because this is going to kill 20 minutes, and are we going to regret not having that 20 minutes elsewhere? So you're like, oh my
Yeah.
God, do we stop or not? It's hard to
How do
know.
you plan for that? Like that, because that's so insane to me. 20 minutes is a huge, and especially like somewhere in India where that was the intro where it was almost a POV of the bike, right? And you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
do you have a locations, like someone who's scanning locations for you prior, or are you really just wearing all the hats? You're like, all right, let's flip a coin. This is not gonna work. Let's go somewhere else. Or
No, but both of those we had like locations planned out, but like there was no prep before. Like I hadn't seen them or anything. We're just trusting. Like we had a guide in India, and then Bhutan we had like kind of a local fixer as well. I'm just trusting them, and it's interesting because they're not film people, so you're kind of like, oh, like this is not as cool as they thought, you know. Or sometimes you're like, oh, this is awesome, and they're like, oh, this is like whatever, and you're like, no, this is the best thing we've been to. So it's that aspect's really funny
yeah, that must be crazy. You're like, no, the way the light is hitting right now is beautiful. It's like it's
for
amazing
sure.
right now. Wow. How often does a shot pan out for you where it's like, okay, I have this idea and it works? You're like,
I mean, I think it's interesting because I think it depends on what we're doing. Like oftentimes there's maybe not necessarily that much planning because you just need to fill 2 minutes. So you're like, okay, I need a product shot, I need a
mm,
nice wide shot or whatever. Like I would say that the planning goes into the more complex stuff, and then generally like hopefully we nail that stuff. For example, the Elliot Jackson one with the car shot, like that was a really complex one that I had in my head and that worked out. So I would say like in general, if I have a vision for a shot, then it's normally like we can execute it pretty well. There's definitely the odd time where it doesn't work for whatever reason, but hopefully like we nail it. And then a lot of it is less planned than I would like, just the nature of the thing where I haven't had time to scout the trail or whatever.
I'd like that because it's kind of half, okay, cool on paper and half creativity. Like I get to kind of do whatever I want. There's some like filmmakers who need everything almost planned. Okay, let me get every single shot like down to the T, and then a little bit of creative freedom because that's just how they work, which is there's no wrong way to do it. And then there's on the other end of the spectrum, it's like you don't have a shot list at all. Like we're out here, you know what I mean? So I guess it's kind of nice to have both. Is that something that you found that works for you? Just kind of half and half. Would you like to do more of the I don't really have a plan right now. Let's just get out here and shoot, or are you like I should probably start planning a little bit more at this?
I definitely would prefer more prep. Definitely.
Okay.
It's just sometimes it's the nature of the beast, you know? Like I think you have to be adaptable and be able to like come up with something that's like usable fast. Like what are you going to do when there's 4 minutes left and the sunset's sick? You know, you got to make sure you nail it when like you don't have much time to figure it out, but more prep is definitely always better.
And I guess because you guys there's only a certain amount of time unless you're using lights. But for the most part, it almost seems like you're using natural light all the time,
For
right?
sure.
There are probably some shots that you know would look good at golden hour, and you're saving it for that time. So it's like, okay, by this time we got to get up to this point, and we got to do these tricks right now. Like you got 30 minutes, maybe not even.
100%.
Wow.
For sure, you're always running against the sun, but man, I don't know, like it's just what you're used to. Like I find like using actual lights on set is way more of a challenge because I haven't done very much of that. I'm like, oh my God, how does this work, you know? So just
Yeah.
what you're used to.
I didn't see any other videos of yours where you're using lights that could behind the scenes because it was only that Sam Pilgrim one when you guys were using those, and so the shots look beautiful. But then like you guys talking about it was like giving me anxiety, and then like seeing the light fall, I was like, I'm like I'm gonna die right now. Like like what do these guys do? The wind is blowing. I'm like, and then you have all these lights at night, and then you're like, yeah, the writers can't see. I'm like, this is the most dangerous thing ever. So would you love to shoot more with like with more lights?
I love like having creative control, you know? Like if you can control the light, that's amazing. I definitely like aspire to do more like non-sports commercials or like
Mm.
different sports. I don't know. So like I would love to do stuff with more lighting for sure. Like I just wrapped my like first big non-bike commercial. It's a workwear spot that I'm working on. So that
Yeah.
was fun. Like we had like a hazer and some lights for some of it. So that was really fun doing something a little bit different.
I was gonna ask you about doing different stuff to more towards the end, but since we're talking about it, would you do baking
Yeah,
stuff?
for sure. I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
baking.
I know. That's why I
That's
asked.
on my website.
I was like, what? I was like, I gotta ask because I feel like he would want to do some type of cooking, some
Oh
type of a
yeah.
baking show.
Chef's table. That's stuff's great.
Beautiful,
For sure.
beautiful. Oh my gosh. The Bear. You watched The Bear?
Oh, I love The Bear. Great
Oh
show.
my god, the cinematography, the storytelling, just the character development, and that
Yeah.
is like, so good. Talking about more of like the different types of content specifically, anything very specific that you in your head that you have ideas for?
Like I have a few bike videos that are like Golden Goose or like the aspirational ones that like I've had on my list for years, you know? So like I definitely have a few concepts that I've like pitched but they haven't found the right home yet, and some of them are maybe like too expensive and ambitious for like what the bike industry can afford, but you never know. I'm going to hopefully get to make those someday.
It's always good to have those in the back burner in a
For
folder
sure.
because you never know. I feel like something might just come up where you're like, wow, we got budget for this. It's like, okay, let me go into this file folder of mine where I have these crazy ideas, right?
Yeah, exactly. You always got to have a little list.
And where does the inspiration for those come from?
I mean, I think I steal a lot of inspiration from stuff I see, right? I don't feel like I'm a huge like plagiarist necessarily, because I feel like the nature of the beast is you're doing it with in a different location with different talent with your own like spin on it, so it just becomes its own thing. But I definitely have like inspiration pulled from other sources, but then hopefully I would do it my own way. There's the super slow-mo one I did called Find Focus, and that's like shot for shot recreation of the boxing scene from Guy Ritchie's Sherlock Holmes movie, you know? So it's like, that's not an original idea, but I hadn't seen anyone do that in a sports film. So it's like, hopefully it becomes its own thing.
I love that one. For that, did you write it first and then shoot it? Was it a rough? Oh, so you shot everything first and then it was okay. Yeah, because everything kind of fit perfectly. There are certain moments where he's talking about it and I was like, oh wow. I just didn't know if that there was like a rough, maybe bullet points that you knew that you wanted to say in flow.
Yeah, I mean, we used that scene from the movie as our template, so we kind of knew like stylistically, we're like, okay, there's going to be some voiceover. It's going to look and feel pretty similar. So we edited it, and then like we're in the sound design phase, and then Bryn, the writer, wrote the narration. Like we recorded it when we were doing the sound design for it, so it was like right at the end.
How does it feel to actually have, what is it, 20 Vimeo staff picks winning a couple awards? Because that's like, I feel like something that people, I don't know, it's such an honor for people to enjoy your work that much, and for you to have so many of those, it's like you're collecting it like infinity still. It's wild.
That blows my mind. They've been so instrumental for me. Like Vimeo as a community, just like growing up on there, like seeing so many incredible films, and then that was, or and still is, like the gold standard. Like a Vimeo staff pick, you're like, that means it's like, I don't know, a certain tier, you know? Like that was a huge career goal. And then I finally managed to get one, and I like felt so lucky. And then that feeling still persists today. Like every time, like, oh my God, that's like the ultimate validation that I did a good job, you know? Yeah, that's like the sign that we delivered a good film. So that's always like so exciting. And also, yeah, just that volume is just like, I've been lucky to work on a lot of great projects, because like a bunch of those are things that I directed, but a bunch of them are also just like things that I did some cinematography for or whatever. So it's just lucky to work with such good collaborators.
How important is it like working with a team? Because my whole goal with the stuff I do is to really inspire the people who are shooting alone to get to kind of where you're at, to slowly start building my skills and the communication aspect of it. I just do a lot of more solo people who are really just getting into it, because it's tough when you work with people that, one, aren't up to your standards, that don't share the same vision. That's kind of hard to work with. Do you have any advice for people who are working solo right now, wanting to get into a small crew? Any kind of advice that you could give them?
Yeah, I mean, I think like starting out as a one person band is great, because like I think it is important to know a little bit about everything, just because then you're more informed when decisions need to be made on set or whatever. And then for me, like it was just working with friends. I started out doing everything myself, and then eventually like started having like a photographer on set to shoot photos, and then like hiring a second cinematographer to shoot other angles with me, and then hire a sound designer, and like slowly the team just builds. And so it's like you kind of have to establish like a certain level of quality that you start getting a little bit of budget, and then you can afford to hire people, which is like, if you can't afford it, then you can't do it. And then yeah, like building your own little crew is really cool, because then you, after a few years, you have like this team that's confident working together, and everyone has a good, hopefully good vibes on set. You got some inside jokes and stuff going on. Like, I think everything in film is gradual. Like, you build your reputation gradually, you build your team gradually, and then if you're lucky, you get a break and it takes you to the next level of budgets or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's just something that happens over time. It's like anything. It's like, you got to build your network.
Let's put in the reps.
Exactly.
All right. I just wanted to say, if you guys made it this far, thank you. I love y'all. You guys know what it is. I want to let you in on a little secret. This is the final episode for the pilot season of Beyond the Cut, the podcast. So really, it was just for me to see if I could do it this last half year, if I was good at it, if I liked it, if I could talk to guests properly and kind of make it entertaining or informative. And I absolutely loved it. I want to continue doing this, and the good thing is that a lot of people are enjoying it as well. So much so that the first official season of Beyond the Cut is going to be sponsored, which is wild to me. I'll let you guys know more about that, but we are going to be giving away some free stuff. So, follow the socials, get updated, follow the newsletter. You guys will get all the info through whatever platform. I'll be posting it everywhere. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's been a crazy year for CC, and I love y'all. Hearts in the comments, please. And let's get into the breakdowns. Yeah, we'll watch it through, and I'm going to stop at certain points. So anyone watching this, make sure you guys go watch the full video on Vimeo. I'm going to link everything down below. Give it a watch first. Come back and come sit with us, because I'll be stopping it a couple times. Okay. Before we get too crazy, there's just so much I have questions about. Okay, first of all, the choice to do it in black and white. Where did that come from?
Kind of inspired by like this. There's a mountain bike photographer named Sterling Lawrence. He's like the goat of mountain bike photography. He's been like the best in the game since 1998 or something, and he's still crushing it. And so I grew up and I would cut out his photos from magazines and have them on my wall. The look was kind of inspired by like 1999 Sterling Lawrence photos, like on his website, he has all these cool black and white film shots from that era. And so it was inspired by that look.
Was this all in pre-production? You knew automatic?
Yeah.
Wow. That's wild. That's wild. And like the certain black, because I almost feel like there's a texture to the shadows and the blacks. Did you guys do any pre-production on it where you guys were testing out certain looks? Or was this all in you were like, okay, when we get it, we'll just kind of figure it out?
Yeah, all in post. Like I knew I wanted it like pretty grainy, like kind of 16 mil feel.
Yeah.
And I kind of just knew I'd figure that out in post.
Because I asked like, what's everyone's favorite shots on my TikTok, and so many people said this shot. What lens was a focal length that you guys use here?
That is my 8 mil fisheye, and it's cropped in because it's 4K 120. So I don't know what the equivalent would be, but yeah, it's like a terrible like $200 8 mil fisheye.
And then the choice to this long shot is beautiful. When you're doing shots like these and you're doing this to scouting, are you like this shot right here? Because I'm assuming there's a trail there that
Yeah.
And then when you're on the trail, are you looking for trees to shoot through? Like, how does the mind work when you're walking through and doing this?
Okay, this one's funny because this is like a really famous trail in North Vancouver called Boogie Nights, like the movie. I've probably shot this trail like, I don't know, 7 different videos or something, because it's like one of the only trails that has jumps.
Oh, okay.
So like honestly, one of the creative challenges for this was like try and make it look slightly different than how we've shot it before. And so like these were my other cinematographer, Liam Milani. He shot this in the next one. Yeah, basically we kind of play off each other. Like I'm like, okay, you can do the long lens ones from the front, get a tight, get a wide, and then I'll do some other stuff. So I did the fish from below, and I did a couple from the side that we didn't end up using, and then oh no, there's another one later in the video, and then Liam got those ones from the front. So
Yeah. Wow. This is also one of my favorite shots because when we talk about storytelling, I'm like, it's like, it's not always what's inside the frame. It's like what's outside the frame. So shooting this and just hearing the sound, I feel like is such a beautiful way to intro this. Was everything planned? Was this just like, okay, we grabbed the shot, let me just get you, riding by, get it kind of moving, and then this might just kind of fall into place somewhere in the video? Or did you know, okay, we want to start off, at least have this in the beginning?
So this was one of the last shots for the video. I knew for the intro, I was like, okay, it'd be cool if you could kind of get a sense of him moving, but you don't actually show it, just to like build some anticipation. And so I think I had it like mostly edited, but I didn't have that shot. So then I went out and I shot this and the next one to cut in. Like that was done after we filmed the riding.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like the order of this is hilarious. Like those God rays, like the beams through the fog just before, like that's from like, I don't know, a year before we shot this. I just had that on my hard drive waiting for the right project for it. So like I always have like try and have like B-roll shots that are just like waiting for the right usage,
The file folder. When we talk about you got to keep it in there. Wow.
Yeah, the wind on the ferns was a bit of a challenge because I had to figure out like how to make it look right. And like I have like, I don't know, 25 shots where the ferns just look stupid.
Yeah, because you shot this after, right? Like you shot this after the fact. So what's actually going by? Or what are you actually are you just like using a stick to like jiggle it a little bit?
No, I had the lid of a like a big like Tupperware like storage like box, like a big
the bins.
Yeah, so I just used the lid of that.
That is wild. Yeah. What? That's insane. Yeah. Okay. And the sound design too. Shout out to your whole team who worked on this.
Yeah, Keith did an awesome job.
Yeah. And just a question for the sound design: is some of this Foley work, or is this like library music?
Yeah, so Keith is like one of the. I think he's probably like the top guy for doing bike videos. He's been doing it for, I don't know, 15 years or whatever. So he has like a huge library of sounds that were recorded for other videos, and so he can just kind of use that. Like I would say, very little of this is recorded on location. A lot of it's just his library.
What was the equipment that you guys use, or did you guys have like just a ton of different lenses for the reds?
Yeah, so I shoot on just like standard Canon L glass. So I basically live on the 16 to 35 2.8. So I shoot a lot at 16 mil, and then Liam has a nice set of like ours. So that would have been, I want to say like a 90 mil on that, but I could be wrong.
The cut here is very interesting. The double?
Yeah.
What was that inspired by anything? And like, why did you use that?
I think I was kind of trying to use like the bike sounds almost like as part of the score or like as punctuation. Like I wanted like a kind of like a like double.
A double, yeah. I don't know. I think, double hawk tool, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think the sound, yeah, totally. I think I just wanted it to like sound interesting between the music, basically.
That's such a to sound interesting between the music is an amazing way to put it. Because it feels offbeat, but completely like a complete whole. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but
yeah, it's like kind of slightly awkward, but like I liked it for that instance.
Me too.
I don't know.
No, me too. Because I remember one person was saying that they didn't like that, but there was something about it. And I also watch a lot of like anime storytelling and stuff. And then when they do impact frames and stuff like that, it's always a double of something. And it always breaks it up to a point where it just feels right because it feels so important. Like that turn felt so fast, and then you showing it again, it made it feel even faster, I feel like.
I should shout out Jackson Goldstone, the athlete. He almost won the like World Cup overall last year, and he's like one of the, I don't know, 3 fastest downhill riders in the world. Like, he's incredible. So really lucky to get to work with him.
You worked with him like 10 years prior to this, right?
Yeah.
That's insane. Where the hell is this? Are you guys inside a log? Like,
yeah, I was inside a log.
What? I guess it was big enough. Are you hand holding the camp?
Yeah, I'm like lying on my stomach inside the log, getting like weird worms, and like it was pretty gross in there, but got the shot, you know?
Wow, because this looks like a big. It looks huge.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
assuming, yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite video that you've done so far?
Oh man, that's so tough. I mean, honestly, I think that Fine Focus, like that super slow-mo one, that one's really special for me because that was like my first good budget. Like, I think we had 25,000 Canadian for that, and that was like my first time having like a solid budget and like doing it like kind of fancy, you know? So that was a big one for me.
Okay, well, now that you talked about it, we're gonna watch that one. When you got that money, were you like, oh shit, like what am I?
Yeah,
it
was high pressure, but like, and then it's also funny because like I felt like that one was a calling card piece. So, like, I didn't pay myself on that project, you know? Like,
I feel like
yeah, it all went into the video, and like I try not to do that too often, but I definitely have like a project or 2 a year where I'm like, okay, this one's like a calling card one, and then I don't pay myself very much, but I try not to do that too much because I also have to pay the rent and stuff. But sometimes you're like, okay, this one's gonna be,
it's like worth it. Yeah, that's yeah.
So yeah, this is the Sherlock Holmes ripoff one. So if you've seen the Guy Ritchie, Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movies, then you'll recognize.
Yeah. Okay.
This is how it all breaks down. Lead with right foot, toes up, crack a slide. Counter steer, fine paddle, don't touch the brakes. Elbows square, loosen wrists. Dive in, steer out. Let it dance. Turn off lip and twist. Slice it up. Scope birds. Don't lose focus.
Did you have to convince Bryn like what this is gonna look like?
No, Bryn was like super involved. Like, him and another buddy I've worked with, Mike Hopkins, they're like the writers that were definitely involved the most creatively. Like, Bryn was very much producer. Like, he wrote the voiceover, and like he was really like a true creative partner on this one. He showed up to the location a few days before and like rode a bazillion trails and was like, okay, these are like what we're gonna shoot. So he really took care of that, which was really nice. And so yeah, like he had a lot of input on it. And then he's such a perfectionist like I am. He was just so dedicated for the project. Like, he would do whatever it took for the shot, which was really special.
What frame rate are you guys shooting at?
So we were shooting 1,000 frames on a Phantom Veo 4K. And then what's kind of interesting is that like I don't think too many people do with the Phantom stuff is when we were speeding up, I added motion blur, so you can see right there's a lot of blur. So like that is not in the footage, but I used After Effects for that because like I didn't want it to look sped up, you know, because it's like he is one of the fastest riders out there. So it's like I want to show that for real.
Yeah. This shot was crazy. How many times did you guys have to do this?
Honestly, a lot of this stuff was like not very many takes. Like, this was like second or third take, I think. But this is like, we shot this 5 years ago, so I could be misremembering. But I think that was like pretty close to the first one.
Because I feel like stuff like this, you would have to like shovel and like you're packing the side. And like, is that what you guys are doing? And then you're like, okay, come around just so we get that extra emphasis.
Yeah. This one, I think there was a little bit of fluffing going on. I think we put some stuff in the corner so it would like explode a little bit better.
Yeah. But it makes it, it's like magic, you know, it's movie magic right there.
Totally dynamic.
Yeah, like that. That's incredible. What the 2 or 3 takes is wild.
What's tough with riders like Bryn is he's pushing so hard in the corners. He actually can't ride it that many times before the corner is like gone.
Oh,
like it doesn't like vanish, but like he rides so hard that it kind of wrecks the corner a little bit for filming. Like he can't ride it the same after a few takes. So it's like you are kind of limited just by the nature of like how hard he's riding.
Yeah, that's crazy. So you really only get 2 or 3 takes before you're like, okay, we got to find another piece to go to and shoot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I mean it depends on what we're doing. And also like he's very much of the mindset like first take, best take, because it's like he's coming in so fast, like he's not 100% sure what's going to happen, and it like is maybe a little bit more dramatic or lively than like the 5th take, you know? So like a lot of this stuff is like first take or very close to the first take just because we want to try and nail it.
That and being a perfectionist is a wild combo.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? That is a wild combo. So it's like I'm on point for this first take. You have to be on point as well.
Yeah. High pressure.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Up. Scope birds. Don't lose focus. Hold form. Fall smooth. Do some trail work. Make a wish. Leave your mark. And keep your eyes on the horizon.
Some of these shots are the most beautiful shots I've seen. Like in God, this. It's incredible what, like, it looks like the whole earth is moving.
Yeah, that's why he can only do a few times, because the corner is just gone. Like that's he's putting so much pressure in there.
Now I understand. And then getting it on a Phantom, I feel like emphasizes it a lot more. Like, because you don't, you shoot at even like less frames, and you probably won't get this feeling.
No,
right?
like it's really cool, like the nuances you get. Like one of the shots before that, you can like see like his whole frame and wheels just like flexing, which is really cool.
And this shot.
Yeah, that's me blowing the dandelions.
You're the master at that. I just like the wind.
Yeah, the whisperer.
The wind whisperer over here. God damn. So wait, hold on. You blowing it? Are you blowing this at the same? Like he's just riding, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna blow this.
Yeah,
thing.
that was like one of the most takes on anything, because we had to get the timing right to like make it look like it's the wind from his bike and like he's in the right place of the shot. It was hard because we were like holding the dandelions awkwardly out of frame because we had to have them in the light because the light's moving from the sun. I don't know. That one was like a fun one, but that was one of the ones I like had in mind. I was like, okay, I really want to do this shot, and then it turned out pretty cool. So
yeah, really cool. Wait, what do you mean the most takes? Did you guys just have dandelions like stacked up like you?
Well, there was just a bunch of them because it was the summer, so we just grabbed some for the shot.
Oh man, see,
because like you get one take and you blow it, and then they look all terrible. So you need some fresh ones, right? So
you need fresh ones because it would look. That's the whole point of these. Like after one and done, right?
Totally.
So, oh man, that's insane. Okay. Oh, beautiful. How long was this shoot?
10 days.
10 days.
I think it was 10 days.
Wow.
Yeah, commitment.
Complete. Worth it though. Worth it.
Hope so. Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm proud of that one still.
Yeah. I when I saw it, I was like, what? I gotta ask him about this. Okay. First of all, the music. How is the music choice?
I had this amazing jazz song that I wanted to use, but it was like, I think they wanted like 15,000 to license it or something, which is way too much money. So then I got my composer that I use often, Jeremy Wallace McLean, to make his own score, and so he nailed it. He did a great job. So
nailed
it's not
the
track that I wanted, but I think it works out really well, and people seem to like it. So it ended up being a good choice for the video.
Yeah, and because you had the idea of it being jazz, was there a reason? Like, did that spark the idea to do this? Because sometimes inspiration comes from, oh, you hear a track, then you want to make a video. Sometimes it's like you do the video first and then the score comes after. Was the
Yeah.
jazz and ultimately the deciding factor of like, okay, this is how I want to feel. Because this vibe, just because of the music, makes this feel completely different. Because I was thinking, okay, what if it was something more upbeat? What if it was rock? What if it was silent? Completely different. Was that the driving factor? Was the music the thing that was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do?
No, I mean, I always do music at the end, honestly. Like, I generally will edit, like, I'll do a cut with kind of whatever, and then I'll edit and then try and find a song that matches how I edited it, basically. Like, I'll change it specifically to the song, but that's kind of maybe a little backwards for how some people like to work. I like to edit every night after we've shot. So like the video is like generally almost done by the time we're done shooting, because that really helps me, because then I know what to shoot the next day. I'm like, oh, we're missing this shot, we're missing this shot. So for this, I was like, oh, his writing is like so playful and beautiful, and like the color we were getting with, like, it was kind of damp out there. Like, I don't know, it just felt like his writing is kind of dancing around. I was like, oh, like jazz would be sick for this. Like, it was just this song like fit the vibe so well, and then Jeremy's score really nailed it too.
Intro shot, because I know you have the BTS and stuff like this. For a couple of these things, even the rig, which we'll get into. But this, how many takes you?
Oh, a lot. Like probably 15 or 20, man. It was complicated. Like so we shot it on the DJI Ronin 4D,
yeah.
and we did it a couple ways. We did it initially with I think we had the 35 mil on there, and so we did a bunch of takes, got it, and then we're like, okay, it needs to be tighter because he's too small. So then we popped the 50 on, and the 50 was a way better feel. This was kind of a logistically challenging shot, because I knew in my head, I'm like, okay, this is a perfect setup. There's a road right beside these jumps. I want to get a long oneer. And so then we looked at it, we're like, could we do a cable cam? And then we couldn't, because it was too steep for the line, so it wouldn't work for cable cam. And so then we're like, okay, can we do one car? So we tried it in one car driving up, but like turning the car around took too long. So the shot felt terrible, because you're like, we had to have him like stop, have a drink from his water bottle, and then start riding down. And so like one car didn't work because it was too slow. We tried one car like reversing, but then that was awkward because I couldn't really shoot out and get like in front of him going backwards, so that didn't work. So then I was like, okay, well, two cars, like this makes sense in my head, I think we can do it. So we spent probably 3 hours the day before like clearing branches out and stuff, and like making sure the sight lines were good. Like we cut a bunch of branches, moved some like ugly dead logs on the ground and stuff to like spruce it up a little bit. And then the next day took like 90 minutes, 2 hours, like figuring out timing and logistics with the two cars. We just kept doing it till we got the framing right. Like going between the cars was the challenging part as an operator, because I didn't want it to be too bobbly. I could tell if I messed up the transition, and then I would just yell at Elliot not to go. And so we probably did like 15 to 20 takes or something like that. But like he wouldn't ride the jumps every time, because if I botched the transition, I'd just yell and tell him not to go. But yeah, like this was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours to get this shot, you know, but it ended up being like one of my favorite shots we've got. So it was totally worth it for sure.
And I'm so glad that you got the behind the scenes for it.
Yeah, me too.
So anyone watching this, you guys got to watch. I'm linking all this stuff down below. You guys got to watch the behind the scenes and how this is actually panning out, because it's insane. How many people were on set?
Yeah, so we had a photographer, Adrian, and then we had Max and Liam. So Liam Morgan, who was one of the cable cam operators, he's driving, and then Max McCulloch, he's the other cable cam operator, and he rode with the suspension backpack. He's pulling focus in the minivan, and then Via Verbeek, who's also a pro mountain biker, she's driving the other car, the red truck. So
okay.
Yeah, so she drove the uphill, and then Liam drove the downhill, Max pulled focus, and then Elliot's riding. So I guess that's 6 people on set, including me.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy. Nice small crew, but you guys like on point, man. Like, and this okay, because like if no one saw the behind the scenes, you know, there's up here like, okay, drone, whatever. This was rigged on. Yeah, I might put up how it looks, because it looks incredible. It's like, I don't know how you guys did it. And then the person riding the bike, that's a beautiful job.
For sure. Max McCulloch, he's also a pro mountain biker, so he rides for Rosignol, and he's a filmmaker. So he rode with the backpack because he's an incredible rider, and he nailed it. But yeah, it was gnarly. Like that rig probably weighs, I don't know, 40 pounds or something. And like it has a lot of leverage because the camera's like pretty far out with the arms. So like he's turning and it's kind of like pulling him off the trail and stuff. So that was like a pretty big ask. And then we kind of like, we definitely found the limits of the system. Like it can't handle too rough of a trail, no jumps obviously. So like this section of trail worked really well. And it is pretty similar to an FPV look, but hopefully it's slightly different.
Because you guys do the music after and stuff like that. When you're editing this, like stuff like this, you're putting it, okay, you're like, okay, this shot, let me hit him with a slow-mo here. Is that how you're just editing it? Like with no idea of like the soundtrack yet?
So I used that other song that I was really excited about. Basically, my vision for this video was like really long tracking shots. And so like my first cut didn't even have a lot of insert shots that aren't tracking shots. Like it was pretty much only cable cams and that driving shot and the backpack shot. Like it was just like all pretty smooth movements. So like it changed a little bit for the final. But yeah, like I wanted to keep like every shot as long as possible to kind of show like the fluidity of his riding.
It's crazy how you said, because like for me, obviously I don't know anything about this world. So when you say like, oh, his riding is more playful and it just feels like that. And like, it's like, I feel like I could see it now. Like just the way it's like, it's almost a groove,
Totally.
You know? I'm like, that's crazy. It's crazy that your vision, just because you've been doing it for so long, it's something that you love. And now like capturing it in different ways is so cool. That's why I feel like when I tell people, they're like, I want to get into video. It's like, you should just start recording things you love because you'll have such a different eye for it. Thank you for jumping on, man. Keep doing your thing. I love what you do. And I know other people will enjoy this. So I'll talk to you soon, man.
Sweet, man.